I'm Joey.T.Cartoon.P, and you're watching the Cartoon Palooza. Today we'll be talking about a film called Cats Don't Dance. Well, of course they don't. Cats Don't Dance is a late 90s hand-drawn feature produced by Ted Turner and distributed by Warner Brothers. It was actually the last film he would produce with his short-lived animation company infused with Warner Brothers animation. We could chalk it up to Turner wanting to continue to scar children's minds, like my friend Joe here.
Art is not a power! It is not a power!
This is also the first film directed by Mark Dindal. He got his start as an animator for Disney, working on special effects for films like The Great Mouse Detective, and then leaving the studio for other projects, and then coming back to work on Aladdin, and then leaving again to work on this film. Thus coming back to no surprise, going back to Disney, directing Emperor's New Groove and Chicken Little, and then leaving again. His trademark tends to be lightning speed character animation and a knack for fourth wall breaking that makes him like a modern day Tex Avery. It's also not surprising that Dindal was brought to work on the film that had quite some time with behind the scenes issues. This is because The Emperor's New Groove was originally a large musical spectacle undergoing a ton of issues before it was brought on board. Likewise, Cats originally started off similar to Space Jam, where animated characters would interact with a live action celebrity. However, instead of Michael Jordan, it was going to be Michael Jackson. Now let's take a moment to think about that. Oh, I believe I can shine! Well, there goes my random internet fact for the day. Let's begin watching our film. Our movie begins with a musical montage with our main character traveling on top of a Randy Newman song. It's very much your typical Randy Newman Americana blend of observation and villainess. Well, let's thank God we don't have to hear another song right after. Since I was a little kitten. Wait, we just started the film with a song. Name in lights, Danny the song and day. Really? You're gonna keep this going throughout the picture? Alright, keep it up and you're gonna lose one of your animators to Craig McCracken. Now to this film's credit, where most of these songs suck, they did manage to be well choreographed. Courtesy of Dindal's wonderful sense of timing and reference footage from that guy who likes to sing in the rain a lot, Gene Kelly. Now how about that? How is this guy always managing to work with cartoon animals? Our main character is the overly upbeat Danny. He's a cat coming to Hollywood with big ambitions of becoming a star. However, this becomes a challenge when he learns how animals are always typecasted as extras while humans get the leading roles. This becomes his mission throughout the film, to keep the animal spirits up because, yeah, it says so in his script. This is actually where most of the sucking about this film comes from. I already mentioned that terribly unoriginal musical numbers, but how about characters just as painfully unoriginal to accompany them? Nothing really stands out from the cast other than typical quirks that doesn't add too much depth to them. We see characters with similar struggles go through similar conflicts, so what makes me invested to care about these characters? You got Danny, who's just as overly optimistic as one would expect the protagonist to be in this type of film. I can't find myself rooting for him if his stakes don't seem that high. Since it's a week he's been in show business, he's supposed to be the answers for all these animal actors' prayers. Really? He has an equally uninteresting forced love interest who, outside of being the only cat in the film, she's pretty forced from the get-go. Sawyer is supposed to represent the opposite to Danny, who despite having been in the business for years, has become a victim to the system. However, there are times where you want to side with Sawyer because she's more experienced than this orange tabby. Then you got the old guy, the fat guy, the constantly scared guy, the princey gal, and the worst offender of kids' movies cliches, the cute one. I don't even think I need to describe why I hate this one. It's pretty self-explanatory. But I guess I will since it's a review anyway, so yeah. Pudge seems specifically designed for one reason and one reason alone, and that's to be cute. Right from his squeaky clean voice to his simple design, there's nothing about this character that would make anybody give two craps about him other than to go, aww.
That I sing is just my side job. Name's Peebo Pudgemeyer. You can call me Pudge. Aww. I was gonna slug that big dumb Max for you, but I didn't want to hurt the guy.
Aww. Shoot me.
So what works about this film despite me saying all the things wrong about it? Well, let me tell you, this film's got a Hail Mary pass in the form of a character named Darla Dimple. I really can't describe her in words, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this unedited clip to show you for yourself.
Oh, Flanagan, The title of this movie is The Archangel. Isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Who here's an angel? Can you tell me who here's an angel?
Why, you are, Darla, sweetheart, celebrity, darling. Angel?
That's right. I am an angel. I am an adorable little angel.
Don't make it all better, Miss Dimple.
I watch Sunday, Miss Dimple. You're coming down.
Ducky.
I hate animals.
Holy cow, look at her go through each of those expressions and poses. She's designed to look like a cross between Tweety Bird and Ren Hoik. It's like she's made of caffeine, Ritalin, Risperdal, Adderall, and 1% hot air. The biggest thing to her character is that she plays Shirley Temple type roles. The studio exploits her cuteness to the point that they're pretty much remaking the same film. Kind of ironic that this movie parodies the cute character by exploiting a cute character as well. However, when all the characters she plays are supposed to love animals, Darla has a deep resentment for them. Now, I always imagined how different the film would be if Dimple turned out being an adult standing in for a kid actor. While I think it would have had potential for good jokes, keeping her a child makes sense in this case. It makes the world seem more topsy-turvy, especially since she has the demeanor of a mad scientist, but can still act like a little child since she is a little child. She also has an assistant named Max. I always took him for being a gorilla, but since the world has animals that act like humans, his features do look more humanoid than most apes. It just makes me think he's a jacked up, paler Daddy Warbucks. It would also justify why she would keep him as a personal assistant, since having an animal for your bodyguard would only add fire to the flame. But this is one of the many common problems in the film, irregardless of Barry Bonds and his post-steroid career. I love how in this scene, where he's introduced through running through a wall, they don't show him running through it or leaving any concrete. Instead, he just sort of jump cuts out of existence. While I'm on that, the editing style in this film, both from the audio to the voice acting, is pretty slick and fast-paced. Though it goes with saying editing an animated film is different from live action, since every frame is premeditated in animation. But looking at a scene like this, how would you tell?
Hi there, ma'am. How you doing? Boy. What's your name there? Okay, I'm Danny.
You saw that, right? There was like a shot for every second within that one clip. Alright, so back to the film. Danny's on his mission to getting the animals bigger roles in the Darla Dimple picture by at least talking with the studio head. However, this leads to Darla setting a meeting with Danny, who clear as daylight wants to sabotage his idea. So much so that it goes from arranging a meeting to giving them full control of the soundstage. Now, I don't know about you, but when you're trying to compromise with somebody, you don't throw in an alternate solution with little bearing to the original. He just wants to meet with the exec, not have his own scene, therefore leading her to manipulate it behind the scenes, causing a massive flood and having every animal kicked off. Which, joke's on me, she ends up doing.
She said she wanted to help us. And you believed her?
I don't even want to feel bad for Danny. He really walked into this one. I think if there's one good thing about these turn of events, it's that Darla sings one of the good songs in this film. Also, is it me, or does Mark Dindal really like having dark, ominous faces in the shadows? Does he really like abusing this trope? Danny's ready to go back home, but then gets another idea, because after 2 failed attempts, 3 times the charm. It gets cute one to rally up all the animals to perform at the movie premiere, which convinces the audience that animals can be taken more seriously. This results in the end credits showing some funny mock-ups, while others might be regretted for years to come. So before I give my final rating, I actually found there to be an interesting subtext to this film that either I'm reading too deeply into or it's intentional, but let me talk about it for a bit. The animals are a group of actors who can't find a lot of work in show business. Outside of playing parodies of themselves, there are humans that have a deep hatred towards them.
They don't belong in pictures, you know what I mean? They belong back on the farm.
So is it me, or does that sound somewhat familiar? Oh yeah.
That's racist.
Maybe I'm reading too deeply into this, but there's a big race equality vibe coming out of this film. But like I said, it might not be intentional, but it's something interesting to think about for a movie that doesn't really leave you a lot to think about. While Cats Don't Dance ultimately works in one aspect, it surprisingly fails in another. Having first seen this as a kid, I was more accepting of the characters since to me, it was the first time seeing these archetypes on film. However, as an adult, they come across less as genuine characters, and more like lazy stand-ins writers put in place because they can't think of anything interesting. There were times when I found myself forcing myself to keep watching, which was most likely due to the musical numbers and the traditional beat-by-beat scenes you see in animated movies today. However, what brings me back is the animation that only the director of The Emperor's New Groove could put on paper, and the antics of the film's antagonist that always put a smile on my face. Which only seems appropriate since the characters act and feel just like Looney Tunes, that they'll be under the same distributor. So in the end, Cats Don't Dance evens out to being an okay film. Yeah, it's okay. Darla Dimple, she's kind of cool. Yeah, I can watch this film. Today's question's gonna be a doozy. What's your favorite dance number within any film you can think about? Comment and let me know. Now I'm Joey Tedesco, and thanks for watching this review on the Cartoon Palooza.